Hello and welcome to After Sound Review, and this is my review for Moondrop Sparks. This is quite unique because I have never seen that Moondrop makes a true wireless, so this is their first attempt to make a true wireless. Now, is it good? Just usual, I will review them from the build, fit, frequency response, sound, and comparison. Okay, aesthetically speaking, for me this Moondrop Sparks is really an eye-catching true wireless because it's using a translucent case and also translucent body for the true wireless IM itself. Take a look at this. I mean, how gorgeous they look and how unique they look. This is the first time I see such a translucent IM. I mean translucent true wireless, and it really looks good. Yeah, simply really eye-catching. I think the material of this IM and also the case is using sandblasted plastic. But actually I've never felt this kind of material in any true wireless or any IMs before except this Moondrop Sparks. It feels like a mix between it feels like, you know, plastic, but it's mixed with rubber, so it's kind of soft to the touch, and it's yes, just interesting. I don't know what kind of material that they use because I cannot find the material specification on its website, but nevertheless it's quite intriguing. Okay, the IM itself, it's a little bit long on the nozzle part that it's actually bothers me a little bit, so when I'm using them it's a little bit outside from where I want them to be, but it might be only a problem with my small Asian ears. And also, when I'm talking about wireless, I need to also say about the feature that they already using the most updated Bluetooth 5.2, and also they are claimed to be able to withstand 8 hours of usage, and also with the case itself able to withstand 48 hours of usage. So that's quite a long time, and I haven't been able to try 8 hours that long, but for my daily use I could simply say that it's most likely that they really be able to do that. And there's no physical button on its housing, so it's using a tap control. Double tap to pause or play, and also triple tap to use the next song or previous song, the right one for the next song and the left one for the previous song. And there's no single tap usage. Yes, I'm not kidding, there's no single tap usage, which is quite weird to me, but yeah, that's how is it. And also if it's kind of glitch sometimes and you want to reset them, you need to put them back in the case and also touch them for 3 seconds and there will be reset. As for the ergonomics, I don't really suit them, I think, because I have small ears. And take a look at this. They have this kind of long nozzle, therefore it's a little bit towards outside my ears and doesn't really sit well in my ears. It's too long, so I really need to play with the ear tips and make sure that they stay in my ears, because I cannot really insert them deep as maybe some of the true wireless that I've reviewed before, like the Shanling NTW300 or maybe the Feel T1 Pro. They are much more easier to fit into my ears, but again, this is personal matters maybe, but nevertheless, with the right ear tips, I could definitely wear them through commute or maybe walking or even jogging. So for the frequency response of this Moondrop Sparks, I could say that can be categorized as Harman neutral-ish somehow, but it sounds definitely in the warmer side, because I need to take some notes that don't care about this peak and this peak, because this is a resonance peak and this is somehow my electrical problems. And the bass area, even though it's not really elevated in this frequency response, but in reality the decay is quite slow, so you will get somehow thick-ish bass, and also there's a treble roll-off after the upper mid-range area. So yeah, for me this is quite warm in my ears, and this is how is it compared to the very good LiQWYD TV. And for me LiQWYD TV sounds more neutral-ish, and somehow I can hear more sub bass in the Moondrop, in the LiQWYD TV I mean, but less mid bass, and also the decay is much faster than the Sparks, thus giving you more thinner bass and also more forward upper mid range around here, and the treble is not as rolled off as this Moondrop Spark. So in a sense, the LiQWYD TV could sound a little bit more analytical and also brighter than the Moondrop Sparks. And also, this is how is it compared to the Shanling MTW300. I should again say this is somehow my electrical problems. It's really hard to get rid of it through my Catur somehow. Trust me, measuring through wireless is harder. And I should say that the Shanling somehow having more bass and also deeper bass and also more forward upper mid range. So I actually categorize them as warm-ish because of the treble rolled off around this area. This is also the resonance peak. Is giving less air in the treble, thus giving for me the two of them not a really bright character. They are both in the warm-ish character somehow, but the Shanling have more forward upper mid range, so it's a little bit more energetic for me somehow. And this is how is it compared to the Moondrop KXSS, which is very well known, some of the Harman neutralish IM. Somehow it is quite similar, but in reality the KXSS has faster decay in the bass and also more extended treble area. And for me, they look similar, but in reality they sound different. KXSS is significantly faster and also more detailed. Okay, so yeah, when I'm talking about the sound of this Moondrop Sparks, I have tried using my iBasso, the X160, and also my phone, the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. And I should say that the experience using my phone, it's much better. I don't know why, but sometimes I have tried several true wireless with my iBasso, the X160, but I don't know why with this Moondrop Sparks I get some glitch. Maybe sometimes they are disconnected randomly, but through my phone that problem doesn't exist really. So I'm definitely loving them using my phone much better than this iBasso DX160. Okay, when it comes to the sound of this Moondrop Spark, as you can see through the frequency response, it tends it's leaning towards warmer side, and it's a good thing for true wireless. As for myself, when I want to use, because here true wireless is mainly using not on the quiet place, but rather on a busy street, or maybe in a park, or maybe while you commute. And I definitely much prefer a warmer sound with bassy, with a lot of good punchy bass, and this Sparks definitely serve that exactly what I want. It has really good punch, it's warm, it doesn't have any strange peaks, and also the vocal is quite forward but keeping that warmthness, so I could wear them very comfortably in the commute or in the outside area. It's really just definitely a kind of sound that I'd like to have when I'm using a true wireless. So the bass is punchy, it's big, it's quite have a weight to it, but it's not really deep. So if you're really critical about the bass quality, I should say that it doesn't really have that really good bass depth, but it's just have a good punch, and it's quite versatile. I mean, if you like pop songs and if you like even acoustic songs or EDMs, it simply is a good bass. But if you're really critical to the bass speed and you like rock songs, for me it doesn't really have the speed of the bass. It's just more suitable for pop music or EDMs. And for the vocal, I should say, if you're familiar with vocal of the Moondrop, for me Moondrop products always have this kind of really good vocals on them, but sometimes it can be a little bit too shouty or too thin at times. Especially I'm a little bit bothered by Moondrop SSR's thin vocal, but in this Moondrop Sparks I could say that Moondrop Sparks is one of the warmest vocal from Moondrop that I've ever tried, but keep giving the sweetness of the vocal that I usually find in Moondrop IMs. So that's a good job for Moondrop. I really like this kind of vocal, and the So this vocal is really suitable for a lot of music, for a lot of genres. Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga, you can throw any song at it, and for me it sounds quite balanced and on the warm area, and I haven't heard any picks or sibilants or anywhere. So it's a really safe vocal. And the treble itself, I should say, maybe it's my least favorite part because sometimes it could get too smooth. Even the cymbal crash sounds blunted. And also if you like violin songs and also orchestral songs, just like me, I hear a lot of orchestra music. I love my violin to sounds really great in those tracks, but I couldn't really get that in this Moondrop Sparks. It's simply too smooth for orchestral or instrumental soundtracks. Okay, when it comes to comparison, I have tried and reviewed and also measured some IMs in this price range, like the LiQWYD TV or the Feel T1 Pro, and I should say that this Moondrop Sparks is like sitting sorry, I have to say it first. The fitting is my least favorite because of the long nozzle of this part. The Feel T1 Pro is my favorite of the bunch, but when it comes to the sound, I found that the LiQWYD TV is the most detailed and also most precise in imaging, but it's sometimes sacrificing its bass weight on these two compared to the LiQWYD TV. LiQWYD TV is the thinnest sounding, but it's the most detailed. It's the most neutral, I should say. But the Feel T1 Pro is the warmest, but it's the most blunted sounding of the three. But this Moondrop Sparks is like sitting between the three of them. So for me, it's just a really good, well-balanced IM. I mean, true wireless. But for the technicalities itself, I should say that the only good parts about this Moondrop Sparks is about the soundstage. Because the soundstage is quite three-dimensional and also wide, but it doesn't really have a good detail or good separation level. I mean, at this point, at this price point, you can buy Moondrop Aria if you want a better detail and better separation level. But like I said, IM and true wireless, it's more about function and not only about the sound quality. And I also have my champions at similar price tag. This is my Wizard HE01. For me, these two have similar organic kind of sound, but the Wizard HE01 is significantly cleaner because I'm using also a better dedicated source, and also it has better separation and detail with better depth on bass and also better sparkle on the treble. Simply, I would say that Wizard HE01 is the more complete version, but it's not true wireless. Again, it's not true wireless, but if you want the sound quality only, I would say that I would pick Moondrop Aria or this Wizard HE01. They all have some the same kind of organic sounds to it. The vocals are really smooth on them, but the Sparks is the one with the least detail and least sparkle. But yeah, it has much better function if you want to use them in commute because they don't have wire. Okay, I think that's all. As their first attempt to make true wireless, for me, they really did a good job because I always can praise Moondrop for their aesthetic, and it is no different from this true wireless. Look, just take a look at this. It's shining like this, it's translucent. This aesthetic is, you cannot find them anywhere beside the Moondrop, so it's quite special for me. And honestly, like I said in the beginning, that I don't really fit their ergonomics actually, but I can enjoy them with how they sound. They simply doesn't sound wrong for true wireless. They have good bass, they have good mid-range, and they have non-fatiguing treble. But I do miss a little bit of Moondrop-ish sweet clarity in the mid-range session, especially when you compare them with their Moondrop Aria at the similar price tag for me. But hey, this is true wireless, it's different purpose, it's supposed to have a big bass. Nevertheless, I quite enjoy this Moondrop Sparks, and I hope you enjoy this review and see you next time.